Alrighty.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Gentlemen. Ooh, that came through loud and bold. I like it. Gentlemen, we are live. Hell yeah. We are here live with you, the 29th episode of Red Pill Smash Bros. I am here with my main man, UFC Legend Jon Fitch. Jon Fitch, how are we doing today?
I'm very good, Corey. How are you
Cool,
doing?
man. How's Corey doing? I'm doing pretty well. I've gone through like a little bit of a funk probably the past 4 or 5 days. I don't know if it had to do with lots of decisions being made.
Mercury's in retrograde.
Is it really? Oh,
no,
man.
No, I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, I'm going to go put my smoky quartz up my anus. Make sure it's nice and cleansed. No, man, I made a huge decision last week that felt really good because I sat down and I'd concluded part 1 of my book, which was supposed to be broken up into 2 parts. And I'm 94,000 words into my first part. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, part 2 is going to be extremely long, like way longer than this one. I was like, man, are people really going to want to read like a 200 some odd thousand page book or 200,000 word book? That's essentially going to be like 500 plus pages. Are people going to want to sit down and read this all in one fell swoop? And I was like, man, I'm kind of demotivated too, because not all of my ideas are there where I'm like in my groove for me to want to sit down and write this all out. It's kind of like work. When I write, it's not work. It's like not stream of consciousness either, but I'm like in the groove and I'm like happy to write and I'm there. Like thoughts are coming in. I'm thinking of it in my subconscious when I'm meditating, all this other stuff. And I just hit the paper and I'm just like, all right, cool. Everything's flowing out. I could write 10,000 words in a sitting, no problem. Right. And I was like, man, you know what? I just feel like this part has reached a conclusion and I feel like I need to release this part first. So I made the big decision last week that I was going to release it in 2 parts instead of being part 1 and part 2 in one book. It was just going to be 2 different books. So I'm going to be releasing my second book here pretty soon. So very, very excited about that. But so I'm talking about kind of coming down a little bit, right? I think when you do something like that, when you have that kind of like creative, I guess, explosion, and like you really hone in on it and you like finalize it, I think you go through like I don't want to say like a mourning period, but I think you go through a period where your body's just like, all right, it's time to like relax and refresh for a little bit because you just put in a whole bunch of work. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is.
No, I definitely think there's something to that. You know, you've accomplished the goal, sort of. You've crossed the finish line, and then you've got to like reestablish a new goal, or you got to shift on to the next thing. That can be a problem with fights. Also, fighters and fights, you know, if you don't have something to occupy your mind after the fight, like you can be longing just to get back in there right away instead of looking to improve your skill set. You know, you crave that build up to the fight, and then once it's over with, you have to like start over again, and that gap, that little depression, post-fight depression, can set in sometimes. So it's best to have something you kind of just hit the ground running into,
for sure.
Make sure you don't have that gap, that space there.
Yeah, I have a lot of stuff that I want to continue to work on. It's just wrapping my mind around it. And then I'm really trying to focus this year on there's this book out there. It's called The One Thing, where it's like instead of, because before it was podcast, write the book, try to promote online dating mastery course and blah, 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 and promote other book. Now it's just like, all right, do this one thing, because everything else is kind of streamlined in a way, right? The means to get people into the WarTribe, the means to get people into online dating mastery, it's all through this, right? It's all through this kind of area on top of other things. And then this can just be the focus, but then it's like, okay, I'm on air 6 days a week. So how do I do that, plus go to school, plus work out and maintain all my other stuff, plus make money other ways, and then finish the book? And I was just like, fuck it, dude. Just get that book done. Just get the book done, man. Like, just focus on that. And then right now, too, it's like I'm probably looking for a release date for this book probably within the next 2 months. So that's going to be the big push, the big focus. Right now it's getting it edited, getting the book cover all done and all that good stuff. It's a lot of fun, believe it or not. But at the same time, it's also like,
Well, I've been sitting for a month and a half waiting for some approval to use a couple pictures for my weight cutting book. So it's just,
is that fucking long, huh?
I'm just fucking turning the wheels, waiting for somebody to write off. It's just, I want like 3 pictures and I got to make sure that they're their pictures. And then it's just taking a lot longer than I thought it would.
I'd be hounding those fools. I'd be like, hey, what's the status? What's the status? What's the status? What's the status? That's how you kind of have to be in the military, because things get fucking lost and shuffled around and people forget and people don't care. You kind of got to be a dick when it comes to that stuff. Just my take. Just my take. What'd you think of that show with Donovan this last weekend there, Mr. Fitch?
It was good. It was a lot of good talks. Man, so sometimes when we get into MMA talk and there's a lot of people who are kind of on the outside of MMA, it's like talking to a blue-pilled beta in the relationship game, because they just don't understand. They don't see past the illusion yet. They have no reason to see past the illusion.
Right.
Like when I mentioned it's pro wrestling, guys, they get really defensive. It's hard to see, but like when you can explain how it's manipulated and the monopolies kind of killed the sport a little bit.
I think it's hard for a lot of people too, because at one point it wasn't.
Yeah, no, it grew into this. It grew into this pro wrestling brand, because before there was more competition. There was it
was merit based for some time.
It was more merit based, and it was more competition between promotions. The UFC hadn't bought up all the other promotions. You still had WEC. You still had Pride was still going strong.
Yeah.
You still had King of the Cage was even something that people would vie to fight for that title. They paid decent money. So now it's just the UFC's monopolized everything, and they've fooled everybody into thinking it operates like a sport. They always say it's a league. It's a different league. It's not a league. You have to have more than one owner for it to be a league.
It's kind of like it's almost like what you talk about too, like Major League Baseball, National Football League. Those are all monopolies on the sport too, as well.
Well, they monopolize the sport, but the team owners don't monopolize the players.
For sure. Yeah, but at the same token,
that's the big difference. That's the big difference. It's different if like at the NFL, if the Dallas Cowboys ran the whole thing and there was no NFL, if it was just the Dallas Cowboys football organizations,
then it'd be a full-blown monopoly for sure.
Then that would be the same as what the UFC is doing now.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy. And it sucks too, because like Bellator is the only promotion right now that's even close, but
not even close. I mean, like,
oh, that's what I'm saying.
Like the Bellator is what, like 2%, 2% of the global revenue or whatever. It's not even close. Like everybody else competes for 10%.
Yeah. It kind of sucks, man. It does. To be honest with you. And like, don't get me wrong, and because you're a Bellator fighter still at the same time, but I've been to quite a few Bellator promotions, and it's just, it's not the same.
I think the thing with Bellator is they're forced to operate under the same, system that the UFC has they don't have access.
I need to shut the door because I hear this fucking preschool kids next door screaming. Drive me crazy.
Oh man. But yeah, the structure as it is, when the promoter can control rank and title, the rank and title become completely arbitrary.
I forgot to even look at the comments. Ooh, we got a couple people up in the comments anyway. Not too much. What's up, Philip Franklin? How are we doing today? I'm the 9, going crazy as usual. What's he saying? It is, though, have a little respect for the UFC. Nothing against the fighters. Pride in K1 is where it's at.
It says such little respect for the UFC.
Oh, such little respect. Yeah, I feel you. But at the same time, it's kind of king of the castle at the moment. So until something, I mean, nothing is impervious to being defeated. Nothing is. most people today will have you believe that these monoliths or these titans of industry are impervious to being pummeled and pummeled down. I don't think that's true. As a matter of fact, I think we're going to start to see a lot of this stuff happen soon, especially if we have some kind of
It
financial.
happens piece by piece, little bit by little bit. Like every other sport was just the athletes were just as exploited, and it took time for them to finally get to where they're at, get free agency.
Yeah.
Same thing with other industries. Google will monopolize things, and Apple will monopolize things, and people will create things that branch off of that. They'll create different businesses, different business models. There's always going to be somebody trying to figure out a way of getting around the structure of the way that everybody else has to do them. Either that or society will collapse under their weight, and then we'll be roving bands of bandits anyway. So either way, I win.
Yeah, we'll see how that all goes. Fuck, I had a topic that I just wanted to bring up. It'll come back. But that's exactly what it was. Did you see I talked about this yesterday a bit on my own personal. I go solo probably about 3 or 4 times a week and just do my own thing. I come on here with some good stuff. But yesterday I got to watch ADJ go on what's it called? Good Morning Britain. Were you able to see any of those?
I did see that. I don't know if I saw the whole thing. I think I did, but it was man, she was just a cat off the leash. She was just
what a fucking see you next Tuesday, bro.
Awful situation. Just coming at him hot and heavy. Pierce Morgan just sitting back like he's usually like he had no idea. He didn't want to get the claws.
Well, he went after Anthony too and kind of ganged up on him because it's one of those things where when there's this woman in the room who is trying to be that way, it's hard for a man, especially in today's world, to just be like, shut the fuck up. Like, quit acting like that. And that's really the boundary that we need to start having. Like, that's what I think a lot of this fight is about, is that women are so used to just being able to be sarcastic, snarky cunts. Like, let's just be honest with their behavior and their attitude, that now no one has the ability to be like, hey, shut the fuck up. Like that. So when we talk about femininity, right, there used to be an ability for a woman to like have some kind of honor with how she responded and how she acted, right? It wasn't always this fucking emotional vitriol that was like just spouted out as venom, right? It's this venomous type of attack that's like, that's what women feeling empowered means to them, is the ability to lash out at everything and just fucking shame and guilt and just be as obnoxious as possible. Did you notice that she was she would ask him a question and then he would start talking, and then seconds later she would just start talking over him and then act like she was the fucking victim. Like because he kept talking when she interrupted him, he was now being the oppressor to her. It's like, no, bitch, you're the bully. You're the one that is being the bully here. And everyone can see it, but no one's going to sit here and hold you accountable for that. That drives me nuts. That drives me absolutely nuts.
And if you do say something about it, you're the misogynist. You should bring that video clip up. You should show that. You could share it on the screen.
Let me see if I can. On the Twitters. Who posted it up, though?
I don't know.
I watched a video from Stefan Molyneux yesterday where he talked about one of the women that's going crazy. Yeah, everything's impeachment today on Twitter. Speaking of that, why don't we just talk a little bit about the impeachment while I'm... Oh, dang. That was crazy.
I mean, it's just whatever. Nothing. It's just going to be over as soon as it's begun. It's just a headache. I don't even care about the impeachment.
Why don't you care?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? He
didn't do nothing. They have no witnesses. They're fighting over these articles and witnesses and bullshit. They had nothing. They've never had anything.
So what exactly is going on there? Because that's the only thing. Like, I kind of get it from afar. What's going on?
So from my opinion, I see when you start commenting on this stuff, you immediately get labeled. Okay, so I'm an independent. I don't give a shit about parties. I was a lifelong Democrat up until like Obama's first or second month, and then I realized it's all a lie. It's all BS. Right. So I've been an independent ever since. And from the outside, it looks like it's never been left or right. It's not what it's about, conservative or liberalism. Like that's just the fight they get all the plebs, all the simps fight over left versus right politics. And it's just like an extremely rich group of people kind of does what the fuck they want to at the top. That's what it seems like. And it seems like Trump wasn't their ordained pick to run things, and he's screwing up what they had planned. That's what it seems like to me. So now they've got to get this guy. They got to get him out of there. They got to discredit him, or he's gonna make the system look bad, or whatever. That's what it looks like from the outside. I think that's more relevant to what's happening than anything else. But people call you crazy for thinking there's some kind of deep state. But it seems pretty obvious that there's just a certain nothingness about the presidents that we've had, at least in my lifetime. They all do the exact same things. Like their policies are all geared towards making money off of foreign oil and corporations kind of running things and telling people what to do. Now, I don't think that there's necessarily a secret cult of people who sit in a room and plan things, but like there's definitely very rich, powerful, there's very rich, powerful people in certain areas that push certain agendas. And I think corporations have a lot to do with them. I think the banks have a lot to do with it, but we'll never really know because we're all fighting about the orange man making a phone call about a criminal.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what's fucked. Is that if there was actually an investigation into what was going on, you'd see someone who was in a fucking political position paid for by the U.S. taxpayer who was appointed using his political fucking power in order to profit and help out his own family, right? Want to talk about quid pro quo. Like that's where you'd find it. You're not going to see quid pro quo when someone says, "Hey, look into this." Right, which is 100%.
Well, I mean, think about why
he has the authority to do so.
Think about why the Russia Gate got started. Like that was just to distract people from the hacked emails. They wanted you to focus on where the hacked emails came from rather than what was in the hacked emails.
Right.
Like they stole and colluded to steal an election from Bernie Sanders, and that was in the emails, 100%. And they're like, "Oh no, it doesn't matter what's in the emails. It matters
how are these
to us. It's all about the
politicians not being put in jail." Like this whole thing that's gone on with fucking Adam Schiff. I want to understand, why is he not in prison right now? Honestly, because here's the thing: is when you become a political leader, you should have the highest moral standing in society. Like the thing is, you have that camera on you almost 100% of the day, which means your behaviors need to be on par with the legal and judicial system of America, right? Like the supreme rule of what our morals and virtues are supposed to be. But you go on air in order to instigate a fucking impeachment of the president, and you make up a conversation. And you say, "Oh, I was doing it for dramatic effect." No, you were fucking saying it verbatim as though it was the truth. And you made this up. Like how he is not fucking hanging in a gallows right now, I don't understand. No, like I'm serious. Like the fact that you wittingly went in front of the nation and you lied in order to have a fucking impeachment process. Like you started a soft coup with lies. Like you should be hanging. You should be paying for this with your life as a politician. I'm serious. Like, but
it should be. Yeah, I mean, especially in the day of the technology and video today. Like, there's what's his name? Was it Brennan, the guy who lied about the mass spying on American citizens? Said that they weren't knowingly spying on.
Yeah, they weren't wittingly spying on.
But he knew, 100% knew, because they were doing it. So like the same situation, like you got caught lying to the country.
Yep.
Maybe they should be,
there should be a penalty,
drawn and quartered.
Agreed. We need to go back to this stuff. Like this whole shit with the fucking Virginia gun rally yesterday. Did you hear what the fucking representative said of Virginia?
They're
They said,
telling
"Hey, thanks."
they
They
said
said,
they're all
"Hey, thanks for
racist.
coming out." Well, not just that. They said, "Hey, thanks for coming out and demonstrating, but we're still going to go ahead with what we want to push through for legislation." So it's like, okay, well, if you have people that are your representatives that are creating laws and they're not abiding by what your representation, they're not abiding by what the fucking populace is is desiring, then who are they serving? They're not serving you. They're serving the interests of something else. And they therefore should not be in office any longer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how do you remove someone from office that way? There used to be a way that we did it back in the day, right? Like plain and simple. I'm not always saying it needs to be fucking armed conflict and all this other stuff, but what I'm saying is like people should figure out ways to fucking oust these people from their positions of power. Honestly,
The sheriff should just arrest them.
agree.
I just arrest them. Why not the sheriff?
Fucking
The sheriff knows
National
that
Guard should come
politicians
in.
are National Guard something. Like if they're going against the way
Well,
things
that's
should
what
be done.
militia. That's essentially what a militia used to be. I mean, we
Mhm.
still have the right in the Constitution to form a fucking militia. Like that's what it's meant for. The problem is we gave up. The second we gave up our ability to have the same type of armament as the government, we lost. We lost checks and balances. Like I truly, honestly believe a citizen should be able to have a fucking tank. I really do. I honestly believe it. It should be part of the militias, right? It should be for the militia.
Mhm.
Like I don't know if you know this. I forgot. I think it was during I think it was during the Revolutionary War, believe it or not. Most of the ships for the Navy for our side, right? For the colonies, they were merchant ships that were fitted with a bunch of cannons and stuff like that. Like like these merchants had just as much armament as the Navy did, as the Army did, right? They had merchant marines sitting atop the fucking what's it called? The snipers to ward off fucking pirates, right? Like when people had their own when they had their own corporations, they had their own fucking armament to protect their vested interest, right? To protect all their assets. And we conscripted that as part of our army and our navy during the Revolutionary War. Crazy. Like it wasn't just a full-blown navy. It was people that had all of these fucking toys, right? And they're like, hey, yeah, sure, absolutely. Let's fucking fight it, right? If it saves me having to pay fucking taxes and all this other shit, let's go for it. But we fucking
yeah.
We are sleep pies right now as a nation. The
I think
Democrats
that's
want
I think that's the man, liberal conservative mashup, the freedom for people to do what they want to do, but to leave you alone at the same time.
yeah.
Just leave me alone. And if you don't, I'll protect what's mine.
Owie. Well, guess what? I finally found some French sold us ships too. Absolutely. I mean, we needed more ships. But I did find some of these what's you call, man? Some videos of ADJ. Let us do this. Let us do this. Green share. Chrome tab. All right. I don't know. Can you see all this
Did you
stuff?
find yeah. You can click on it, I think, and make it bigger.
Oh shit.
I can't hear it though.
So this is something that I need to really hone in on. And this is what can you guys so now you guys can see it. Could you hear it before?
Can't hear the audio of the video though.
All right, let me
You might have to let it come through the sound of the speaker.
Convention, Anthony Dream Johnson. What will I learn if I pay my $999 to turn up and be talked to by men about how to be a good woman?
Ugh, that's what I'm talking about. Actually, I'll bring that up again and I'm gonna bring this back. You can hear all this, right?
Yep.
All right. It's pixelated like crazy, but come on, you son of a gun.
Yeah, it's the
Men about how to be a good woman.
Just her behavior, man. Everything about her.
she's just ready to fire it up to make her speech. She's probably prepped it all weekend.
Because I think I might
Yelled
be
at her kids.
Look at her eyes.
Look at Pierce Morgan's face. Like, oh shit, here she goes.
Yeah, exactly. It's embarrassing. Fuck is going on? You're driving me crazy, Streamlabs. Honestly. All right, let me pull that back up.
Yeah, the video quality isn't the greatest on Streamlabs, and it always freezes.
Is that what goes on? It's just from Streamlabs?
I think, yeah, because it's only offers like 720.
Yeah, you're right.
The thing.
Stop.
So,
all right, now that it's not on Streamlabs, hopefully that's gonna. No.
or I'm sorry, on StreamYard.
All right, that's what we're gonna do. All right, I'll bring it back up if I need to. I'm not gonna go full screen again. But yeah, the big thing that I'm talking about here is this. When it comes to this woman's attitude, man, like that, it's not feminine. She's already coming in hostile. She's being snooty. She's
like,
not, as a journalist.
I've never seen like men question each other like that.
Right. Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I would be like,
I don't come on here. I don't come on here and I'm like,
problem?
I don't come on here and already have something loaded up. And I'm like, so Jon Fitch, you think that the UFC isn't that good of a fighting institution, huh? Tell me more about that, won't you?
Oh, so the fights aren't real? You're saying
the
fights aren't real?
So you just have this kind of perspective that, you know what I mean? It's like that's what's
just
strong.
It's just a lot of it's barking. It's barking.
Yeah.
I would not react to anyone, man, woman, child, anybody speaking to me in that tone. It's ridiculous. You could,
this drives me crazy.
It's the first time that you could speak to me like an adult, or we can end this conversation. No, you're talking like a child. Like, stop. You're speaking like a child.
And that's what should have happened, to be honest with you. There should have been.
But I think Anthony's honestly doing a great job of baiting them into this. Like, he's just very basically, calmly giving his perspective, and he's allowing them to shriek and howl. And he's gotten something over 60 million impressions, I think, from this little.
Dude, that's all you got to do is kick the hornet's nest, and then just be able to tolerate the stings. They're willingly. They love
and they're
getting in a
spreading the gossip around. It makes them feel they're spreading all, and then all the lesser males are agreeing with it, hoping that it gets them. They can identify with the woman more and agree with her on more stuff. And then it's going to catch way more guys who are on the fence and are like, wait a minute. Maybe they're onto something.
They still haven't learned from the Trump phenomenon.
They still have not learned
of him being elected. Yeah, they still have not learned. Like they think doubling down
further. Like the Trump phenomenon, all of this stuff, the cancel culture stuff, it all falls back to the Streisand effect.
Okay, tell me about that.
Right, so that was something that was covered on South Park a long time ago. There's like some pictures of Barbara Streisand that she didn't like, so she went through all this trouble to scrub them from the internet, and they weren't big deal pictures at all. Like nobody would have paid attention otherwise, but because she put so much effort in making those pictures go away, it blew up and everybody saw the pictures. So like it's the same ideology, it's the same thing. Trump, they like ignored him and they just, he'll go away. Then they try to take things away, ban things, shut things down, and then it just sparks more people like, hey man, I was watching this thing, and they shut it down. Like it just makes it grow, and they still haven't figured that out.
Camp Wilson too. I know Camp Wilson. British puss, worst spoon ever. Where was Camp Wilson at? Was that in Sangan? I forget where it is. Anyway, I forget where that is. I remember a Camp Wilson though. Yeah, man. I just watched this fucking video today. It was here. Let me at least tell you guys where to find it. I'm gonna actually do a video review on this. I think because it was just so horrendous. 2019. Nope, not you. It is called I Hate You. Oh, of course, it's in watch later. Essentially, what it comes down to was it was a Reddit post that this guy reviewed of these guys that set up as a prank a Twitter account. And they set up a Twitter account as like a super sexy Chad, but he was a child rapist. His Twitter account showed him as a oh yeah, that's right, Camp Wilson. I was out there. Fuck, I had to do what's it called? Camp Wilson and 29 Palms. What did I have to do out there? What was the? Oh, I can't remember the name of it. I'm retarded today. Anyway, going back to the video I was just talking about. So these guys pulled a prank where they set up these 2 Twitter profiles, and they were super hot dudes in Britain, right? And one dude claimed he was a ITX. Thank you. One dude claimed he was a child. Actually, both of them claimed that they were child rapists, right? One dude said he like touched an 8-year-old boy and was accused of it and all this other stuff. And then the next guy said, "Oh my God, you're retarded." Unpopular opinion, but Bernie is more alpha than Trump. I completely disagree.
He's dick tuck on too many occasions. I have a picture with Bernie. I was a Bernie fan until he dick tuck on the Hillary Clinton thing, and then he dick tuck a few times recently. He's just
he's doing it with Elizabeth Warren right now.
I think he's got a good story, but he's either controlled or handled by somebody, or he's just put on a show.
Anyway, getting back to those stories, what I was telling you guys about these guys, right? So they saw how many women that they could match with on Tinder. And you would be surprised, written in this profile where they describe that they're accused, like no kidding, accused sexual predators. And one of them says, like, I even went to jail for slapping my ex-girlfriend around. No big deal. Just a couple of soft slaps, nothing too crazy. And like, because they were like total 9s and 10s. Oh yeah. And one of the guys had a swastika tattooed right on his fucking arm. Oh, it was so good.
Girls still loved him, huh?
Girls still loved him.
Still loved him.
They looked past all of his flaws in order to be with him. Like, and it was so much so too, like he was texting them and like saying, well, not real dudes, but it's like, hey, come over. And they're like, okay. Like within seconds. Fucking absolutely nuts, man. These British chicks, dude, like British chicks are fucking crazy. They love like the super, super bad boy. As long as he's hot, they'll just go and fucking go ham with him. Anyway. So yeah, that whole thing with ADJ, that was pretty good stuff, man, to be honest with you. I think, most people hate on him. I actually normally hate on him too, because I think he's kind of weird. But I thought he did well with this. That's prime marketing, to be honest with you. And he could have done better for sure.
It's like a really good event together. His events it was fantastic. I thought there was a lot of good speakers. Everything was organized, and I've been to things where they're not organized, and that's always a pain in the ass.
Well, I think that's where his niche is, though. I think his niche is to be an organizer. I don't think it's to be in the spotlight. That might be an unpopular opinion, but I don't care. That's just from what I can see with how he does business. Like every once in a while, that's how it should be, but that he can come out and speak and stuff. But I don't think he's I don't think he's a full blown leader in that aspect. It's just from me being able to break that stuff down. But I think that was good exposure. I think we're going to see the tide start to turn more so in I mean, this is just helping in the cause of bringing things back to masculinity, believe it or not. So I think it's cool. I'm happy with that. Good to see it on such a high level. At least it's not.
It's gonna be an interesting decade. There's definitely a pushback against the cancel culture type issues that are persistent. But it'll be interesting to see how the relationship stuff develops, because cat's out of the bag with a lot of the stuff. I think they're gonna have to flow with the currents and do our best to take advantage of the situations.
Yep. Speaking of, been doing a lot of thinking about what's going to happen this decade, obviously, because the decade is upon us. And I think I was talking on Dude Party this weekend, because the question was, do you think Trump is going to get reelected? And I don't think there's a doubt in anyone's mind that he's getting reelected, especially now. Obviously, though, nothing is ever guaranteed. Like I could have sworn the 2016 election was Hillary's. Could not believe that Trump ended up winning that. Could not believe it. So I don't know what's going to happen. I was talking with Rolo, and we both kind of agree that we think that the last kind of hurrah that's going to happen, because we've seen this happen with the DNC, and I think they're already starting to set Bernie up for this again. I don't think that Biden's going to be the nominee. I don't think Bernie's going to be the nominee. And I think they're going to try to put Warren as the nominee. And I think that's the only chance that they have.
I think she's been anointed. I think that's why the attack recently on Bernie about saying that women aren't possible. Yep. They don't want Tulsi. They'll probably link Tulsi and Bernie together. Yeah.
And they're going to try to paint Pocahontas as the victim and get her up there. Because, again, what we're going to try to see is this. What we're going to try to get is her versus him again in order to get the female voting bloc and the white knights to come out and vote in mass. Because this is going to be the highest turnout for voters, I think, in history. I think this is going to be the highest turnout in voting history, period, hands down. But I also am going to go so far as to say that I think that Trump is going to be the last president of the United States. I do.
He's going to become emperor.
I think what's going to happen is we're going to see so much turmoil by the end of his 4 years and there might even be a civil war or something that it might extend him for a little bit. And then I think that the United States is going to break down into a bunch of city states after that. I don't think that the U.S. is ever gonna. I don't think that the U.S. is gonna stand. And then I'm gonna even go deeper on my prophecy. I think that there's going to be an Orwellian side, and I think there's going to be a light side, and I think it's going to be divided by a tremendous wall. And I think it's going to be the two. I think there's going to be a socialist utopia, which is going to be like the Orwellian side of things, and then I think that there's going to be a free society, just like Oceania in 1984. That's what my take is going to be. And then I think Oceania is going to be broken down into a couple different things.
We've got another 50, 60 years of decay before anything gets any close to that.
Nope. I'm saying it's going to happen within the next.
You're going to see a shift. People are going to start figuring out ways to get things to work a little bit. But
nope. I'm going for it. Has to topple. It's too big. It's going to topple. It's going down. And we're going to see it within the next 6 years.
No, I think that it's going to get rough for a little while, but I think we still got some cushion time. And it's going to get rough for a short period of time, but it's going to shift back because of the speed at which technology moves. And I don't know if everybody's going to survive, but I think things are going to be all right moving forward, because we're just in the middle of not the middle, but at an end of a reformation, like a butterfly in the cocoon. Of course, we might not be a butterfly. We might be a horrible monster for a little bit, but I think history just shows progress forward. No matter what happens backwards, it always is moving forwards. And I think we're going to keep moving forwards. And some people are going to do better than others. Unless there's a huge natural disaster, I think we're going to keep inching forward.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a couple of those this year.
A couple earthquakes.
Oh yeah. We're going to see some volcanoes. We're going to see some big fucking typhoons. I think some big earthquakes, though. We might even see something that we don't even know is possible. Some space stuff. Some ionosphere fucking rattling. Yes. Something that rattles the ionosphere, the magnetosphere, and just kind of reverberates and throws shit off or something. I don't know. We don't know all of reality yet, man. You know what I'm saying? People are just sitting here thinking, oh, well, what's happened in the past is, the only things that can happen to us. I don't think so. I think that we got some new tricks coming in, some new stuffs. I don't know though, man. I mean, I'm a fucking weird. I'm a weirdo, so I'm all about it. Yeah, kind of funny. The Navy copped to saying that they identified some UFOs just recently, and they're even hinting at the fact that there are things out there. And I mean, even President Trump has talked about declassifying some stuff on UFOs and aliens. So there's some stuff, you know what I mean? Patrick Knott says the world is doomed. John, is the world doomed?
No, you're doomed. I'm doomed. We're all doomed. No matter what we do or how well we do it, at the end, we're all going to die. So calm down.
You don't know that.
Yeah.
We could live. I mean, there could be some people now that live forever. Who knows?
Probably not. And then living forever would probably be awful too. Could you imagine
I'm happy with 1,000
with
years.
the same people forever?
Yeah, that'd be terrible. I'm happy with 1,000 years while everybody else kind of
I mean, even 500, even the 500 point. I think 500, I'd start getting tired of shit.
Nah, dude, because I'd go into
get tired of these damn kids. Could you imagine being 200 years old and meeting a fucking 18-year-old who knows it all again? You know how annoying.
Not if you have a lightsaber. What if you have a lightsaber though?
Oh my goodness!
You just start hacking people.
Think about how PC culture will be in 200 years. Like, no thanks.
Yeah, you definitely want to go live in an ivory tower. You'd want to go live in an ivory tower somewhere for a little while. And I'd definitely fucking go into space.
Just live the life you got to the fullest.
I'd go into space for a little while. I'd go live on the moon for a little bit, maybe even Mars for a little bit, just to see how it is. Fly around space in a spacecraft, come back.
An alien
go back up to space for a little bit.
Space game. Oh, you could write the space game book.
Space game, absolutely. The only downfall though is if you've ever seen if you've ever seen what the fuck is the damn movie I'm thinking of? Matt McConaughey. Interstellar, where they talk about fucking space time. Landing on that fucking planet for 2.5 hours was like 40 years, bro. Oh my God, that's fucking creepy. Can you imagine that shit, dude? I'd hate that. I'd hate that a lot. Fucking space time. Gravity. The way gravity bends time, it's fucking crazy. You're just like,
don't let gravity win. You gotta lift weights.
I've been geeking out on some fucking sci-fi stuff lately. I've been watching stuff on like thorium reactors and fucking cold fusion. Well, not that, yeah, or just fission in general. Looking at fucking fission technology. Have you ever looked into that stuff?
Or is this all make believe?
No, they're fucking close. They're close to actually having. They're saying that fission is now within probably 10 years, but I think that we've already grasped it. I think that these major power companies have already capitalized on it, and they're just fucking hiding it. China's close to producing something. They're saying within the next 3 to 5 years that they'd have a fission generator, which is insane.
Sure. They're gonna get a massive like pandemic outbreak from the monkey pigs that they've made. they're gonna escape, start raping people, and then everybody dies. That's what's gonna happen to China.
You think so? They're gonna get overrun with their own like
they're shaking
zombie humanoids.
They're shaking sticks at God. Come on, China.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Like,
I feel like
China's
the biggest threat to the U.S. right now. But by far, China's the biggest threat. But I think they're going to implode. They've got so much, they've got this big, scary battleship with all this stuff on the inside that's on fire, and yeah, they got problems.
See, I thought we
just
already
leave
had
them
fusion.
alone, and they're going to implode.
It's fusion, not fission. We already have fission. Fission is nuclear power that we have right now. Fusion, though, like what we have, the sun, like what the sun is doing. That shit's crazy. Fucking fusion. Love it. All about it. I think that we could do it easier though. Someone posted up I think it was fuck, I forgot his name right now. I'm sorry. My brain is not working. One Man's Way. Perfect. Got it. He posted up something about was it the Washington Post or Time or somebody posted up some kind of fucking limitless energy with magnets, this magnet engine that was just kind of created.
I mean, I've heard plenty of. You hear stories about there's a video of the guy who makes the motor out of water, and
yeah,
but about it, I feel like if this stuff was real somehow, some way, it would be around. Like especially with the internet and
yeah, you can't
and
contain the stuff any
can't
longer.
contain. That's if it's something that exists, somebody's gonna put it out there on some level.
Right, for sure. Dragon Ball Z fusion. I'm all about it. I'm gonna if I create a fusion fucking machine, I'm gonna name it Dragon Ball Z fusion and copyright it. That'd be dope. Make all the mummies. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think that we're going to have some pretty cool stuff in the future come up, and I think that we're going to start to limit some technology as well. We kind of have to. We kind of got to put the lid on it a little bit. We can't.
I don't see how you can, man, because it seems like
tyranny.
Well, tyranny, but we have, the ability to be isolated.
Dictatorships.
If anything, necessity spawns a lot of development. So human beings are resourceful and we find ways to survive. Not everybody will.
Wouldn't you say that a lot of our creation that's being put out though right now isn't for resourcefulness, it's instead for consumerism?
It's true, but it doesn't mean that there aren't people doing things out of resourcefulness. I think the big overall economy pushes that direction. But I think there are still people who are finding ways to get by and making things work on that level. Even the idea of the tiny house, people.
Yeah.
And a lot of that technology comes from things already that exist in Japan because they're limited space. I don't know. I think they're just gonna keep developing systems to get around problems until something either hits us from space or we nuke each other.
What if all of those happen? All one convergence.
You better get your gun.
That's right. Find some high ground.
Pay some money to the NRA, get your membership, and vote for everybody who supports the Second Amendment.
They're not doing too much in this whole Virginia thing, though. Got to be honest with you there.
They
should just have a hit spot.
Because the politicians want to force it through. And you know what? The government tries to test things out at remote places first before they do it everywhere. So Virginia could be just testing grounds. What can we enforce? What can we do? Let's see if they turn it into a Waco or a Ruby Ridge.
Yeah, that was crazy, huh? Most people don't really know anything about Waco or specifically Ruby Ridge.
They were people with guns and they were self-sufficient and didn't need to rely on the government. And the government said, no, you are not allowed to not rely on us. And they murdered them and children.
They shot a woman in their face, right, with their fucking kid in their hand. Yep. Good old sheriff of San Diego, Bill Gore. He was there. Watched that woman get murdered. Just like, you know what really pissed me off too? I loved seeing it too, was the fucking Bundys just recently.
Ted Bundy stuff?
Not Ted Bundy. The Bundy Ranch people.
Bundy Ranch people.
They went up to the Oregon.
Dude, Oregon. like those guys do not understand how lucky they are for technology. Like technology saved their lives.
Yeah, but not fucking.
If it was Waco or Ruby Ridge time, like they would have killed that dude.
I'm forgetting names like crazy today, but normally I can remember this dude's name. Fucking poor guy that got shot coming out of his vehicle after they got fucking ambushed. That was fucking murder. What was his name? Fuck.
I understand. It's one of the supporters, one of the guys with the Bundys.
Yeah, I love that dude too. Ranch.
Excuse me.
Militia.
But yeah, that's
Mhm,
I think
man.
that's those guys didn't get killed because people were watching, and we didn't go to Syria because of social media. Also, I think it's too.
Lavoy. Fuck. Good old Lavoy Finicum. That's the name I was looking for. Fucking guys started shooting his truck up, and then they got out of the vehicle. Well, sorry, they were sitting in the vehicle. They were getting shot at. And then they exited the vehicle. He had his hands up, and fucking guys behind him fucking shot him, killed him cold blood. Fucking insane. Those people should be fucking hanging right now, too. My boy just got shot 3 times by the popo. He was just sitting in his car. Yeah, this isn't, I don't want to turn this into a completely fucking hate the cops kind of thing, but I think in our society today, a lot of men that are looking to get into fights and legally kill someone are the ones that are running towards becoming cops. I see a lot of people that shouldn't be cops that are cops, and they resort to violence as the first thing. It's kind of like that dude that fucking, I don't want to get into it.
Well, you got to remember too, though, these guys they're given all the information about the situation by the people who want them to do the job for them.
What do you mean?
So like if they go into the briefing, like they're going into work. Okay, they sit down for the briefing, and they got the feds and everybody telling them, hey, these pieces of shit are doing these things.
Yeah,
They're un-American. They're horse molesters. Who knows what they're telling them?
that's why I got Che Guevara tattooed on my fucking bicep, because I was an intelligence guy, and I saw how all that stuff was instigated, and I came back and I realized, I was like, man, I read a whole bunch of stuff on Che Guevara. I read his guerrilla warfare stuff, and I read his whole motorcycle diary stuff. And even though I don't fucking agree with Marxist socialism, I can understand why he was so adamant and hated the United States of America for coming through fucking Colombia and Argentina and pretty much like economic hitmen. They were going in there and they were fucking pretty much
100%.
killing off, taking over fucking lands and all this other stuff, and then putting into power the people that they wanted to serve their interests. So I could see this. Like, I can understand why. But yet the CIA will sit there through and through and tell you these false stories about who Che Guevara is. So much so that, you know, when he was captured in Bolivia, that's where they fucking ended up fucking murdering the dude, right? No fair trial, no nothing. And it's exactly like what you're talking about. It's, oh, well, the US story on this person is he is this person, right? Like, he's bad. He's a terrorist. You should hate him. And it's like, you don't know the full fucking truth. You don't know the full story. So same thing was happening in Afghanistan with a lot of stuff. And I came back and I was just like, huh. And that's how I started to realize, like, yo, I got to do my own research, create my own opinions.
Yep.
Yeah, totally.
World War, yeah, whether it's so American, the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, Vietnam, World War I, World War II. There's always some backstory that
they're not telling you.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
and that's where a lot of people find difficulty understanding a lot of this, is that it's not like good versus evil. It's not good guy, bad guy. It's not red hat. It's not white hat, black hat. There's a lot of in betweens. There's a lot of nuance. People are just people. They could be an awesome person about one thing, but then be a savage killer in another sense. And then it's hard for people to conceptualize that. It's easier to just to be like good, bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Got into an argument with an idiot how the ATF were recorded from satellite shooting CS gas and then tracer around to ignite it at Waco. He thinks Koresh just poured gasoline everywhere and started it himself. No, he just didn't pay fucking taxes, and they killed him and a whole bunch of women and kids too. Exactly. Yeah, people don't realize that whenever you try to break free from doing this stuff with the government, they're going to come at you. They're gonna, right? They're going to fucking figure out a way to do all this stuff. Like, small example for me was when I owned my business, there's a billboard out front. Like, so my business was right on the 76 in Oceanside. 30,000 cars or more drive by a day. And there's this old Motel 6 fucking billboard out in front. Nobody owned it. except for the Motel 6. And the Motel 6 had closed down fucking years before. So nobody was using this billboard. So I was like, okay, cool. Well, no one owns it. The state doesn't own it, right? Caltrans doesn't own it. Nobody owns it. So I fucking went and had billboards made, and I went and I hung them up myself, right? For my business. And wouldn't you fucking know, 3 days later, 4 days later, the fucking city shows up to my business and they say, you need to close down your business right now. Like, cease and desist. Your fucking business is closed until further notice. And I was like, okay, why? They said, well, you know that you went out and you put those billboards up without a permit. I was like, well, you guys don't own that, so why do I need to get a permit from you? They're like, well, technically we do own it now since that business. It's like, no, you don't. First and foremost, you don't own it. So they're like, well, either way, you need to close down your business. Why do I need to close down my business if I didn't? Like, shouldn't I just take down the billboards then, if that's what the discrepancy is? No, we've come to find out that none of your paperwork for you to do a business, or all your whatever paperwork, didn't go through. Meanwhile, they have the folder of my paperwork in their hand, right? So they're sitting here telling me that I need to close down my business because I didn't file the right paperwork for me to open my business. So essentially what they were doing
means
is
they want you to, hey, you need to pay this late fee now. Make it out to me personally.
They were extorting me. They were saying, oh, we don't have any record of you ever putting through your paperwork with us because you fucking didn't ask us permission. We are now going to put your entire business in jeopardy and make it seem as though. That's the power of the state too, mind you guys. Like, they have the authority, so they can sit there and they can make up whatever they want. They could be bullies all they want too.
Remember, like, Al Capone got arrested for tax evasion. They didn't care about the murders. They didn't care about the lawyer, about the money laundering. They didn't care about any of this shit except for him not paying his taxes.
Right.
If he just would have paid his taxes, they might have let him go.
Yeah, the thing there was that he was probably just getting too big and threatening the
well, I mean, he was working against the government because they had cut out alcohol, and he's providing a service. But yeah, I was just saying that's just one of those examples. The government, they want their money, and they don't want anybody to risk them not getting their money. Our government's turned into what we fought the revolution for, to get away from England.
Exactly. And we're getting taxed at way higher rates than we fucking way higher rates.
Way higher rates. It's ridiculous.
Like, when I calculate out the amount of taxes that I pay per year here in the state of California, it's upwards of 63%.
Yeah.
When you calculate it all, or more, right? When you start hitting the 60% mark, you live in a fucking socialist country, right? That's what you're paying here in California. It is pure and utter fucking socialism here in California.
It's like about 42 to 44% usually.
But then think about your property taxes, right? If you own.
Yeah.
Then think about every single time you go to the gas station. Then think about anytime you fucking buy anything, right? Like, now that's already taxed income that you're now paying taxes on as you fucking spend. It's like, that's fucking ridiculous.
Yep.
It goes in the coffers of the man. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, when you really take it down, when you take it down to that level, you're paying upwards of 60%. There's no reason why you should be paying 50 cents, 57, 58 cents a fucking gallon in taxes. And then they have the ability with the stroke of a pen to mark it up more because, we now need to improve the roads. Wasn't that the last thing you fucking told me you needed to use it for? And yet the fucking roads haven't been improved.
Still shitty.
And then Leland Yee is now being found fucking guilty for fucking trafficking guns with the fucking Chinese triads. And people are being smuggled in through the fucking ports of San Francisco. Like, where is all that money going, Mr. fucking Gavin Newsom? What about fucking Moonbeam's fucking crazy fucking train to nowhere? That's soaked up billions and billions and billions of dollars. Meanwhile, these fucking construction managers and all this other stuff, they're getting all this fucking money, but nothing's being built. Nothing's getting built. Where's all that money going? How is that? You can come in as a fucking person who got $200,000 a year annually, now $400,000 a year, Nancy Pelosi, and you're worth $100 million. What's going on here, people? What's going on here? All these fucking tax hikes, though. All these tax hikes, right? I wonder what the fuck is really truly going on, huh?
Oh man,
You said it the other day too, didn't you? You said something about the legalization of marijuana. What's going on?
Government's
when you
out
see
of money,
people-
man. They keep printing more. You better be finding ways to make money, guys, because your saving money isn't getting you anywhere.
Nope.
Stock
Multiple
market is
streams of
kind of
income.
the stock market's pretty much artificially inflated right now.
It always
You're
has
still
been. It
you're
always has
taking a risk in cryptocurrency also. Like there's no way to save your way to financial independence. You have to create the revenue streams. You have to create the money
You gotta
coming
earn it.
in.
You got to earn it, and you got to fucking figure out ways. That's actually, I'm about to
You have to keep earning it.
go right now. Yeah, I'm going to go right now and actually buy some books on educating myself on the old taxes. The old taxes. Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, sir. Oh, cool. I didn't know that I could do this.
Everything's a write-off.
Yeah, I know. I need to get good. I need to get good at that. I need to get mo better. All right, Mr. Fitch, I know you got to get your tuchus out of here. I need to go and do some stuff too, like eat some fucking red meat. I gave some blood today, man. I'm going to tell you, I gave blood today, and holy fuck. You should have seen the color of my blood. It was like fucking maroon. I was like, man, my blood is so dark. They're like, yeah, your iron count is ridiculous. I was like, I got like a 49 score or something like that on my fucking iron count. I think it was crazy. Fucking just from doing carnivore for 2.5 weeks now. Just fucking munching on red meat like it's nobody's business. Like a G. Cool. All right, Jon Fitch. People can find you at jonfitch.net. Is that correct?
Yep. JonFitch.net. Sign up for the newsletter. You can follow all the links.
Newsletter.
All the other stuff out.
I need to do a newsletter. I might even set up my own fucking website right now. We'll see. All right, fellas. Well, you know what's going on with me. Book 2 should be out here pretty soon. I will be releasing some more details on that next week. Also, if you guys would like a copy of book number 1, Live Your Best Life in 30 Days, do email me at agodofmen. Let me fucking type this in there. agodofmen@gmail.com. And I will get you a free copy of my first book, Live Your Best Life in 30 Days. And that's going to be about it. If you guys haven't hit the like button, what the fuck is it say? Best way to rebel is make yourself a harder target. Yeah, absolutely. If you guys haven't already hit the like button, please do so. And yeah, that's all I fucking got. I'm dying here. We'll see you. Adios.
There it is.